I think the period leading up to the extradition, the hours before we were extradited were probably the most difficult of my life, for two reasons. One, because of everything that was happening with my wife and my children. I'd spent the last few years saying consistently, don't worry, this is all going to be all right, okay? Common sense will prevail. At some stage, somebody will wake up and say, you know what, this is nonsense. And I had maintained that belief right the way up to the last minute. I genuinely believed that at some stage somebody would intervene and say, look, we'll try these guys in the UK. And so it was very, very difficult for me personally coming to terms with the fact that I had essentially deceived my wife and my children, and having to say, okay, all right, I got it wrong, we're going, but nonetheless, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. That was tricky, incredibly difficult for my wife, very, very difficult for the children, trying to maintain a sense of normality, particularly on that last day. My daughter had a school swimming gala in the afternoon. I had to go to that. We were besieged at the time by press, TV cameras and everything else. And I was trying desperately to maintain a sense of decorum and a sense of normality about the whole thing. And then right smack bang in the middle of it, and you've got the parliamentary debate going on that afternoon. And then at lunchtime on that final day, the news broke that an ex-colleague of ours had committed suicide. And this was a guy who we had worked with in Greenwich NatWest, and who had been very involved in the transaction at NatWest, which was the subject of our charges, and who had, it appeared, been bullied, for want of a better expression, by the FBI into giving a statement, and presumably had thought that he was going to have to be called as a witness in the trial. Now, I don't know, and I will probably never know, what caused Neil to take his own life. I hope to God it was something other than our case, because whatever were the circumstances, if somebody took his own life for reasons connected with the charges that have been brought against us, I have to live with that for the rest of my life, and that's a tough thing to do. And here we were, less than a day away from being shipped out to America, and you've got all this other stuff going on, and then you hear that somebody that you worked very closely with, and who was, Gary particularly, was very good friends with, has taken his own life. And that really, that one knocked me for six, it really did. But what it made me appreciate was that however bad things may have looked for us right there, you had to have a sense of perspective. Somebody somewhere was now missing a husband, somebody was missing a father. And so I think that, it gave me a healthy sense of, however bad it looks for us, pick up a newspaper any given day, there's real tragedy in the world, you've got to get on with this.